and welcome to Therapy Book Thursday. Today we're going to read The Together Tree, written by Aisha Saeed and illustrated by LeUyen, Pham. And hopefully I said those names kind of close because I don't know how to say those names, so hopefully those were kind of said correctly. Today we're going to read about the Together Tree. It's a little bit about bullying, and it's a little bit about acceptance and wanting to be nice to people that are different from us, and how we can all gather together and play together and be nice to each other. So let's read this book and find out what happens and how they do all those things. The Together Tree. Rumi joined Miss Garza's class on the first warm day of spring. Icicles melted from trees, water dripped from the leaves, droplets trailed down the windows. Rumi is from San Francisco, Miss Garza said. On the other side of the country. Let's make him feel at home. Rumi got the best seat in class, next to the class hamster, Waffles, and Lola, the goldfish. The kids stared at Rumi, but Rumi stared out the window. At recess, the grass looked so green against the sky, full of sunshine and blue. Ella raced down the slide. Asher played tag with Han. Rumi twirled a twig beneath a shady old willow tree. When he heard a laugh, he looked up. 3 kids stood by the swings. His shoes are ugly, Asher said, laughing. And big, Ella giggled. The laces are untied, too. Han didn't think it was funny. He didn't say a word. Rumi looked down at his shoes. He'd colored them with friends back home, where the cypress trees grew and the fog rolled deep. Back home, they played kickball. Back home, they built sandcastles. But things were different now. He twirled his twig beneath the shady old willow tree, and something began to hurt. In music class later that week, when Mr. Simon played the flute, Asher crumpled and tossed a paper. It landed on Rumi's shoe. When Ella saw, she smiled and giggled. Han simply stared. Rumi studied his shoes, the painted cars, rainbows, and balloons. He tried his best not to cry. The next day at recess, Ella skipped, Asher ran, Han crossed the monkey bars, and Rumi stayed alone by himself, twirling the twig beneath the shady old willow tree. Then Asher picked up a pebble. He flung it in the air. It flew. It spun. It sputtered. It scraped against Rumi's knee. This time Ella didn't giggle. Everyone stood still, and Rumi felt something salty and wet. A tear slide down his cheek. Rumi, Han called out. I was wondering if maybe if it was okay if I could play with you. And that's when Han looked down and saw what Rumi was doing with his twig. He was drawing a beautiful world out of dirt. At the end of class that day, Asher slipped Rumi a note. "I'm sorry. I hope you are okay." The next day, Han and Rumi drew together, building butterflies and castles from dirt. Ella asked to play. Connor and Devin did too. "Sure," Rumi said, and soon everyone joined in. Everyone except Asher. He had wandered back to class. Rumi watched him through the window where he had a pile of blocks on his desk. And then he looked at the kids, his brand new friends in his brand new city, and said, "Let's all go inside too." Together they ate lunch the next day, and later, at recess, they played all together beneath the shady old willow tree. The end. What did we learn from this book? Did you pick up on anything? Did you see anything? Have any of you felt like the new kid? Any of you ever felt like you didn't fit in, or like people didn't want to play with you for one reason or another, or like people didn't want to play what you wanted to play, or you didn't want to play what other people wanted to play, and then you just didn't feel like you fit in and you wanted to kind of be alone like Rumi? Well, Rumi moved and he was new to school and didn't know anybody, and nobody really wanted to welcome him. So that's another thing to think about. If you're in class, if you're in a classroom, if you're at home, if you're in therapy, you know, I bet sometimes you have felt this way. And it really hurts when you feel left out and you feel alone and like nobody wants to play with you, especially if people are making fun of you, because that's never nice. It's never okay for people to make fun of us or to be mean to us or throw things at us or call us names like they did in this book to Rumi. And I'm really glad that they apologized and made things better. But if you see somebody playing alone and they look like they could use a friend, what do you think you could do? Could you be their friend? Could you invite them to play with you? Or could you go hang out with them like Han did with Rumi? Yeah, I bet you could. And who knows, maybe you'd make a new friend and have fun too. So the Together tree helped us to learn about sharing with other people, making friends, being kind, not bullying, and sharing time under the willow tree or whatever that is for you. Maybe it's the playground, maybe it's coloring, maybe it's your classroom, maybe it's in your own home. Who knows? But thank you so much for joining me and reading the Together tree with me today. And I hope you can join me next week for Therapy Book Thursday. Bye.